Hello and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name is Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for the collective for this rare blue full moon that is taking place in Taurus on Halloween, of course, hence the get up, the hat. Love the hat, but I only get to wear it once a year, so I like to make the most of it. So welcome back to any of you who have been here before, and big welcome to those of you who have come across to find out what this channel is all about. I am an intuitive tarot reader with over 30 years experience, and this reading, as I was saying, today is a full moon intuitive reading for the collective for this rare blue moon. So I'm going to start off with the Moonology cards to give you an indication of what's happening with the Taurus full moon here. We have your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. Taurus is very practical, very down to earth, very security and stability minded. They like to know what's coming. They don't like surprises. And we have the full moon energy of surrender to the divine. And that basically speaks for itself. It's saying release, let go, allow things to leave your life if they're no longer working for you. And that is a very strong indication during this full moon in general, because the sun is in Scorpio, which of course is all about transformation as well. So the next card, the fixed moon, is saying hold your vision, which I think at this time is quite relevant as well. We're all in a state of not really knowing what's going on in our worlds, in our lives. We're all kind of in the process of going back into this kind of crazy lockdown. And so for me, it's kind of saying that it's time to kind of, you know, look to the future, hold that vision. It's a fixed sign, so it doesn't like change in general. None of the fixed signs like change, but change has to come, particularly at this full moon, because Taurus moon is in conjunction with Uranus, who is the great change, the great liberator, the great awakener. So things are going to start shifting and moving as we go forward, but particularly around the time of this new moon that is coming up as well. We will probably see things will have already changed by then. And today we have another card, because usually we just have the three, but today we've got the blue moon card here, which is believe in the impossible. So a rare blue moon, so rare that we haven't had a blue moon on Halloween for the last 76 years, I do believe it is. So it is a very rare moon. So for any of you who want to do your moon wishes, that is the full moon now is the best time to do it. Okay, so, and the full moon also, the energy of the full moon lasts right from the time of the full moon right through to the new moon, and even beyond that into the next full moon as well. So starting the reading off, we have this beautiful card here. This is from the Celestial Meditation deck. And the card that came out for us today is Golden Tara. And Golden Tara is saying, sitting atop a moon sphere. So I find it difficult to read. There we go. Sitting atop a moon sphere within a blossoming lotus, white Tara lowers her right hand in a gesture of supreme giving. Just as this precious lotus rises from the mud to bloom unsullied in open space, so too does the mind rise through the discord of its own experience to blossom in the boundlessness of unconditional awareness. This wish-fulfilling goddess embodies the heart of active compassion. Her vision reveals the inseparability of all existence. Meditate upon her presence in your life, and you too shall realize the expanded capacity of the liberated state. And her word is prosperity, which is very apt for a Taurus full moon, because Taurus is also very much about prosperity, being the ruler of the second house, finances, values. So Golden Tara is a representation for this energy today. And no, I didn't deliberately pick it. It just came out on its own. I often find that these cards do that, and they do reflect the energy really, really accurately as well. And as a lot of tarot readers say out there, you cannot make it up. You seriously can't. It's quite amazing. So starting the actual reading here, we have the Strength card. Now these are cards that I haven't read before. They are new to me, but I thought I would give them a go. And what we see here is a woman standing next to a lion type beast, which is representation of the strength. It also represents the energy of Leo, courage of the heart. And the interesting thing for me about the Strength card is that the feminine energy always seems to have the lion energy, which is the representation of the more masculine, the more driving, passionate, outer energy, action, doing energy. She always seems to have this, which represents the beast within us as well, like our drive, our anger even. You know, sometimes it rises up, it takes over, and it can in certain situations become untamable, or it can become something that we can't hold back. It's like there's a strength within us sometimes that we don't know our own strength as well. So there can also be a fear related with the Strength card of not wanting to push things too far as well, because we don't know how far we will go before we do snap, before we do cross that line from being in control to being out of control. But the card is upright, so it is saying to me that this is about the balance of the masculine and the feminine energies here, and using the two of them together to proceed forward with something. There's a strength needed here. We are all in this time actually needing to find some inner strength to be able to move forward across this bridge, because they are standing for me at the beginning of this bridge. It looks like they're looking ahead into the future, wondering how they're going to get across this bridge. The lion also has his paw on like a golden globe here as well. Which could be like a representation of that sun energy, of that heart energy, of that courage that we need to find within ourselves in order to be able to move forward and not stay stuck where we are, not to allow our strength as well to be too passive, because we can also become too passive, where we become too pliable and too tamed and too compliant even. So it is, for me, it's kind of saying that there is this need here for us to find that balance within ourselves of the, like I was saying, the masculine, the driving, the doing energy, as well as that more feminine, more nurturing, more caring, more kind of tempered energy of knowing when's the best way to be more gentle, to be more kind and considerate in a situation. Because we have over the top of this, and what we are being challenged to discover within ourselves and within this inner strength card as well at this time, is the Queen of Wands. Now she herself is a very fiery energy, and I always see the Strength card as a very fiery energy as well. I do see it represented by the energy of Leo, as I was saying, which is a fire sign, which can also be creativity. But this card in particular, the Queen of Wands, she is a very creative, fiery individual, very charismatic, very visionary. She is a visionary. She is somebody who knows about the law of manifestation, shall we say. She has a magnetic personality where she will pull and draw towards her what it is that she needs, rather than kind of trying to force it to happen. So maybe that's what these two cards here are saying, is that if we balance things up and if we become more aware of our inner strength and our ability to create things, as we are constantly creating our environment and our lives. This is something I believe as we move forward into the more Aquarian age that is coming in, we are going to realize that we are the creators of our lives. We are the ones that are putting the energy out there that is creating whatever it is that is around us, and that creation is coming from within ourselves here. Again, this inner strength card, the balance, what do we kind of believe we have to do in order to achieve as well? Because sometimes we can try to overachieve, or we can try to we forget that we have this ability within us to co-create, which is what I feel that this is talking about here, that we are co-creators. We are constantly creating with the universe around us, with our environment around us. The interactions that we have with people will have a knock-on effect, shall we say, when it comes to our experiences in life. How we experience things, why we experience them. So the Queen of Wands as our challenging energy is saying that we need to realize how incredibly kind of magnificent we are. In fact, I think that's the message here, is, you know, we are these magnificent, magnetic, creative energies, and that we are kind of being led to believe otherwise. We are being led to believe that we have to force situations to happen in our life, when in fact the story is very different. But we are yet to kind of realize this and take it on board as a collective, and realize that this is what we are creating. The more we focus on something, the more we actually bring it into our reality, whether that's the negative side of it or the positive side of it. And what's in our head and what we are aware of at this time is the Lover's energy. And there is, within this full moon, there is a very strong energy of the 7th house, because Venus has now moved into the beginning of the 7th house, Libra, which is, for me, the ruler of the Lovers card, the energy, Venus being the Lovers, Venus being Aphrodite. I see Venus more as being the Lover's energy, rather than more Mercury, which is more Gemini ruled. So whereas most people would say that this is a Gemini card, I personally see this more as a Libra, 7th house energy, all about our one-to-one relationships. And so I feel that at this time, because this is what's in our head and this is what we are aware of, but what I feel it's saying is that this is also about bringing into our awareness what it is that we do love, what it is that we do value. Again, these are very Venus orientated energies, valuing something, loving something, the beauty of something, caring for something. Venus is recognizing, again, there's a synchronicity here. I see these two energies of the masculine and the feminine coming through here again. There is a very strong dual energy within this. And the sun, of course, is in Scorpio. And so there could be a lot of emphasis at this time on relationships in general. I have said in my astrology reading that this season during Scorpio is known as the culling season as well, because transformation takes place within us. Scorpio is naturally very transformational, and during this season, if we don't grow with somebody, and we kind of realize that, you know, we have transformed, we have changed, but the person that we're with may not have done that. They may not have gone through a growth on a spiritual level, or on a mental understanding, or an emotional level. They may still be lacking on an emotional level. And this is kind of what the Lovers card is saying to me here, because I see the Lovers energy as being a choice of the person that we choose to be with. But why is it? They are a reflection or a mirror of ourselves. So we have to ask ourselves, why is it that we want to be with this person? What is it about this person that attracts me? Their energy. What is it in their energy that I am attracted to? And that can be an emotional need for an emotional partner, somebody who you can relate to emotionally or intellectually. It may just be a sexual thing or a physical thing. But often with the Lovers card, there is a need to really kind of question what it is about that person that is also within yourself as well. And are you living it out through this other person? Are you taking responsibility for it yourself? Or are you just expecting them to be that part that you yourself aren't owning? Again, the masculine and the feminine, it's a very dual energy as well. Masculine, feminine is very much strongly depicted in the Lovers card. Again, it doesn't have to be just masculine or feminine energies, but we all have those energies within us, regardless of our gender. Some of us will have more masculine, some will have more feminine. Again, it doesn't depend on the gender either. They are very masculine women and very feminine men. They are just energies. But for me, the card is very much about this growth, this kind of understanding of being able to grow with that person, with the person that you want to be with, that you're in love with. If you can't grow with that person, if they can no longer give you what it is that you need and what you're seeking, particularly at this time, then something has to change, something has to end. And that's another thing with the Scorpio season as well, is endings. It is very strongly about endings in order for there to be new beginnings, because Scorpio is the sign of death and birth, rebirth, or birth, death and rebirth. transformational. Kind of, there is 3 different symbols that represent Scorpio as well, which I do explain in my astrology reading that I have just done. So we are moving on to the energy that is leaving us, what we have been working through here. And we have the Star card here in reverse, which is saying to me that there has been an energy of despair, really, a lack of hope, a feeling of things not being as they should be, of having to deal with a lot of crap, because that's what the star energy for me is about. It's about seeing beyond all of that, if we can kind of look beyond that and to recognize that we are connected to all this energy, this source energy. But here down on the physical plane where we live, we have to work through a lot of crap in order to be able to grow. Again, the star card can represent a kind of awakening, a realization, an understanding of connection to everything. And I'm reading this as a collective energy rather than just for individuals. If I was reading the star card on an individual level, I would read it differently, but because I'm reading it as a collective energy, I'm kind of putting it into perspective of what we are all living through at this time, and how a lot of people have given up hope. And when you give up hope, you give up on everything, because hope is the most intangible quality there is. You can't really explain hope. Hope lives within each individual person in a different way, and you can't really explain it, but it's something that is there as like a wish, or a, you know, people who are down on their luck, shall we say, you know, they can hang on to hope that things are going to change, that things are going to improve, that things are going to get better, no matter how much crap they have to go through in order to get to that better point. If they hang on to the belief, which hope is really, it is a belief that things will improve for them. And this is on a collective scale as well at this time. And I believe that there has been a lot of hanging on to hope, a lot of wishing and hoping, and maybe even praying on some levels that things are going to change for us, that we are going to get through this, that we are going to come out the other side of this. And that there has been purpose here as well. But as I was saying, for those people who cannot hold on to that idea of hope, then they really have nothing left. And if you have nothing left, then that's the point in time where you just give up. You give up because there just seems no point, literally. And we are also seeing a lot of that taking place at this time on this planet because of everything that we're going through. But the card that has come out with the star card here, upright, is the Ten of Wands, which is saying there is this final energy coming in, or this final ending happening here. The Ten of Wands can be an energy of really having struggled, really having gone through or been put through the mill. Really, I mean, the energy that we're in at this time of talking about it astrologically, we're talking about big, heavy, dense, harsh energy from the Saturn and Pluto conjunction that happened way back in January. For anybody who hasn't been to my channel before, it's something that I talk about quite a bit. If you check out my other readings, particularly my full moon and my new moon readings, I do talk about this conjunction that took place in January, because it has been the trigger point to everything that we are seeing today on the planet. And of course we've had other energies come in and and add to this major conjunction. And this is a major conjunction because the last time that this occurred was back in the 1500s, so it's not something that happens regularly, Pluto and Saturn coming together in the sign of Capricorn, which is why we are all being affected on such a deep level here. Capricorn being the sign of establishment and structure in our life. So what we are seeing is the falling of all of this. And there has also been another major energy at play, which began back at the end of January, which is the sextile energy from Neptune across to Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto as well. So that has helped to add to all the confusion and the mayhem and the craziness of everything that is taking place. And that again is ongoing energy. So that's what I think this Ten of Wands is talking about here as well, that we have had to struggle, we have had to really dig really deep to try and make sense of all this, and to try and keep going, to try and get to the end of 2020 even. And we are really close to getting there. And hence why I think the Ten of Wands is here, because the Ten of Wands is a final card. It's a card of reaching that end, of putting down the weight. If you see here, she's holding all of this up on her back. She's holding that whole kingdom up. And that's kind of how it has felt. That we're all kind of holding up our worlds, our reality. We're all trying to make sense of it. We're all trying to keep it together on some level here. But we also have the energy of the Fool here. So this is saying that there is a new beginning starting here. There is something new coming in. We are being called towards something new, a new path, a new journey, a new start, a fresh new world even. The Fool has to trust his intuition. He stands on the edge of the precipice and he's being asked here to leap, to take that leap of faith. And that's really what this star energy here is saying to me as well, that when it's in reverse, we have lost that faith. We no longer believe. That things are improving. We may no longer even trust in those that we have put our trust in, those that have kind of supported us in the past, those that we have given our trust to take care of us, to look after us on a grander scale, governments, corporations, because none of them are being left out of this, even though we may not be fully aware of the total what's the word I'm looking for here, fully aware of the total outcome of what is happening behind the scenes at this time. There is things changing, things are moving forward. With this Fool card here, it is saying that you have to trust the bigger picture. You have to trust your own knowing. You have to trust your instincts. You have to trust in yourself and your connection with the divine. Your connection, your own personal connection with the bigger energy, the universal energy here. For me, this is what the Fool is about. It's about taking that leap with total faith and total trust that wherever it is that you're going to land, you're going to be taken care of, you're going to be looked after and protected. And we are in many ways at this time having to do that. We can't trust, we are having to trust in ourselves, in our journey, our own individual journeys. While still recognizing that we are connected to everything else. And that's another thing with this star card here as well, is that we have lost that belief of connection with everything else. We have lost the belief, or the knowing rather than the belief, that everything is connected, that there is no disconnection here. And the Fool card is saying for me, you know, this is what we have to do. We have to trust in a bigger energy. Trust in that bigger energy that is also us. And what we have underneath in our subconscious here at this time, with the 7 of Swords, is a feeling of betrayal. A feeling of deceit, of being lied to, of deception, of having having put our faith or our trust in something that has turned out not to be what we thought it was going to be. What we believed it to be. What it was kind of making itself out to be. What it was presenting itself to us to be. We kind of just trusted this energy here rather than trusting our own inner knowing. And I believe that as we go further again into 2021, this is going to become quite a stronger part of who we are, is going back to that place of who we are, us, ourselves, the I am energy, as I like to call it, the I am. But this card for me, the 7 of Swords here, is all about that deceit and that lying and that pretending to be something other than it is. The deception. There's a lot of swans used in the sword energy of these cards. And I see the swans as kind of representing that that spiritual side of ourselves, that yeah, that kind of pure spiritual energy, the energy that can't be touched. It's untouchable. It always is what it is. And here you can see that it's being slowly trapped. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 swords surrounding it. And the 7th sword he's holding in his hand, this kind of creature down here. I don't know if you can see that very well, whether there's a bit blurry in that. Very tricky, sorry about this. He's kind of quite deceptive himself, actually. He's kind of quite difficult to pick out within that card itself. but he's holding this 7th sword across his lap here. This is him here, and he's holding this card across, this sword across his lap, and I believe he's about to kind of put it around the swan, the representation of our self. And he's obviously a kind of representation of an evil kind of energy. He's got clawed feet, and his head is he's wearing like a dark mask type thing. Yeah. So for me, he kind of represents that side of human nature that is caught up in its own like ego or the darkness. He's more kind of relating to that side of thing. He wants to kind of control this energy. He wants to control it. He wants to trap it, control it, stop it from being able to be free. And that for me is very representative of what is taking place on this planet at this time. Not just because of the lockdowns, but also because, and I probably shouldn't say that word, because the certain channel doesn't, or certain platform doesn't like certain words being used, so you have to be careful. But that's what it represents as an energy at this time, is this darker agenda, shall we say, that is in play right now as we speak. And this is on a subconscious level, so this is what we as a collective are not quite so aware of. We're not aware that this is what's going on. This trickery, this deception, this kind of glamour that is being put on us at this time to believe something that actually isn't true, or has very little truth behind it. Maybe it has a small amount of truth, but it is a very small amount of truth, and it is being blown out of all proportion. So, as we move into the future energy here, we find the Two of Wands, which is about a new start, really. It's about, but it is in reverse, so it's kind of saying to me that this is going to be a kind of shaky start, shall we say, as this Fool takes this leap, and as we take this leap and are starting to try and create something new here, which is what the Two of Wands is talking about. It's about creating something new in your life, or in our lives. Taking the energy, this new energy, if you look here, there's this character sitting on top of this same kind of beast here, very similar to this strength lion here. Again, the kind of courage and Leo energy. And it is going to take courage to move forward, move out of this period of time, create something new, which is what this is saying. The Two of Wands is about having to rethink, restart, recreate, coming out of this energy, the Ten of Wands here, of having completed something. This could even be to do with businesses. This could be, basically, it kind of represents for me our lives and the energy that we've put into making, creating something here. And it's a restart in many ways, the Two of Wands. It's a kind of energy of going back to the beginning and recreating. Fire, wands, fire, creative energy, passion, drive. Where are we going to put that energy? What are we going to do with it? And it also has the Empress here as well. in reverse. So both of these energies have come out in reverse. So as we move into the future, I feel that it's going to be tricky. It's not just going to be plain sailing. There's going to be moments of doubt and disbelief even in what we are going to be experiencing here. And the Empress is interesting because if you can see on this card, there is this kind of this disc here, this white kind of, it looks to me like an opening, like a portal into a new world in a way, like creating something completely new, completely different, something that we've never ever experienced before. And this for me is the same energy with this portal here, or what looks like a portal to me, and it's surrounded by butterflies. It's made up literally of butterflies, and these butterflies are all transformational. That's what a butterfly represents. It literally represents again that stage of coming from the caterpillar into the butterfly, the transformation that takes place, the alchemical process, if you like, that we don't really know what goes on. And it's like, it's the same thing, it's happening in our lives as well. We are going from that caterpillar stage into, or the pupae stage even, into this kind of transformational energy. Things are shifting and changing, but because the Empress again is in reverse, it may be difficult for us to be able to accept it or want to see it. The Empress is the energy of abundance, very much to do with our earthly needs as well, which is a representation for me of the mother energy, Mother Earth herself really, and everything that we need comes directly from her. There is nowhere else that gives us what we need. And when we are born, it is our mothers who give birth to us. It is our mother who takes care of us, feeds us, clothes us, looks after us, gives us what we need, sustains us from her own body, if that is possible, if that's the... I mean, it used to be something that was naturally just done. Unfortunately, these days, it's not quite as prominent, even though it has kind of come back into fashion, shall we say. But the energy itself is all about the abundance. It's about the giving. It's about the constant, like, permanently, the potential is there. Permanent potential of growth, of something being able to come to birth. And that's what I think these two cards are saying here, that there is this new world, this new something opening up for us, this new portal even. And it could even be a sense of becoming more aware of outer energies, or something opening up for us to realise that we are not here on our own, that this whole universe is not just about us. It does feel like there is growth here as well, but it does, like I was saying, because it's in reverse, to me it does feel as though it's like a sense of difficulty, like a difficult labour, like a difficult birth. Not something that's going to just happen at this time. Like even disbelief, even a sense of kind of, that can't be possible, that can't even be probable, is kind of how it's coming through for me today. So I am going to pull two more cards. Oh. Okay, that was quick, for our hopes and our fears, and also for the final outcome here. So what we have for the hopes and fears is the Ten of Swords in reverse, which is interesting because the 10 again is an ending. And what we are wanting an ending to is this stress, I feel, this mind stress, this kind of constant mental difficulty, trying to make sense of things, of trying to understand things, of just going over the same ground time and time and time again, and getting the same results. It's like we want an end to this. We want this ending. 10 is always about an ending, but it is in reverse. So there is also a part of us that is fearful of this ending. There is a part of us that is scared even of allowing ourselves to go beyond that ending. It's like, what happens after that ending? That ending's fine, but then what? What are we going to do then? And there is, in this card, there is a sense of kind of this being a lot of blood being shed here, it looks like to me. A lot of, yeah, hardship, blood being shed. Again, the mind can play games, can play tricks, can kind of deceive us. Words as well, words, communication, things that are very easy to trick people. Again, with this 7 here, this deception, this kind of sense of being lulled into a false sense of security. This card is saying that it's ending. It is ending. There is going to be this finality here of things. The life that we have known is going to be different, is going to change. And we have the Hangman as our outcome here. And the Hangman is an interesting card. When it's upright, it's an even better energy because it's saying that this is a willingness here. That this is an energy of somebody who is willing to make sacrifices, is willing to surrender themselves to the greater, higher understanding. They want to understand more. Hangman wants a different perspective. He wants to be illuminated. In the Norse mythology, Odin hung on a tree upside down, and it was only when he hung on the tree upside down that he was given the symbols of the runes. If you don't know anything about the runes, they are kind of a symbolic divination language as well. But he was given those symbols and their meanings only by hanging himself upside down on this tree when he had no other choice. He'd run out of all other options to solve the problem that he had at that time. So for me, it is also a card of saying that we need to dive deeper into our intuition here as well and trust our own understanding, the Hangman energy. Let go, surrender. And that's really what I think we're having to do at this time. We are being, Pluto is endings. Pluto has been forcing these endings since he moved into Capricorn way back in, I think it was 2008 that he first entered Capricorn. So slowly and gradually the energies since 2008 have been changing. We have been seeing major changes. I mean, also when Pluto moved into Capricorn, we got the financial crash as well. That's when that took place too. So that was interesting. And Pluto is endings. And you can't rebuild on, it's like, you can rebuild, but you need to rebuild with Pluto. It's like something completely changes, completely transforms. There is no going back to the way that things have been. But that doesn't mean that we have to give in to other people's ideas of how life should be. So let's see what we have here. We have the Witches cards that I'm using here, the Everyday Witch, and over the top of the Strength card and the Queen of Wands we have the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles here is saying teamwork is our way out of this, which is interesting because teamwork is something that is going to become a lot stronger as we move into the Aquarian age, because the Aquarian age is all about collective energy, working together rather than working insularly like we have been doing, like building up our own security or stability just for ourselves and our family, which is important, but this is more about community-minded energy. This is about taking things out into the bigger picture, the community, seeing things in a different way, working together as teams, all for something that is beneficial for the betterment of all, not just for the individual. And this is the Aquarian energy that we are coming into. It doesn't mean that we all have to become like robots. It doesn't mean that artificial intelligence is the way forward. It just means that we need to realize that we are part of that collective. We are all connected. And that's the kind of thing I believe that they are trying to keep us from knowing, remembering, becoming aware of. Kind of trapping of our minds, keeping the same story going over and over again. The Three of Wands to me is saying, sorry, the Three of Pentacles here is saying that teamwork is the way forward. Working together with each other is the way to get out, the way to move forward as a collective at this time. Queen of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and the Chariot. So the Queen of Pentacles is in reverse. The Five of Pentacles is up the right way, and the Chariot is also in reverse. So this is what's come out in our head and what we are aware of. And the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is kind of saying to me that this is that energy of being very much focused on our own wants, our own needs, especially when she's in reverse. Very kind of self-orientated energy, very much I don't want to share, I don't want to give anything to anybody else. This is mine, I'm keeping it. I've worked hard for it. Nobody else is going to have it. And this is the kind of energy that we are kind of collectively needing to become aware of. It is what's in our head, it's what's over the top of this Lover's energy as well, interestingly. A Lover's energy for me being collectively about choices. Choices that we make and the consequences of those choices. And then we have the Five of Pentacles here. So it's kind of saying that we're all feeling like this at this time. We're all feeling kind of isolated and on our own and suffering. And even though we've all kind of put in the hard work and we've tried our best and we've kind of done what we thought was the right thing, the result that we're seeing is not necessarily the one that we're wanting, because we're feeling as though it's that isolated energy. The Five of Pentacles is about isolation. It's about being left out in the cold with very little. Whilst, you know, this energy here is kind of, for me, representing those that have not sharing. Again, it's that not sharing energy. It's that kind of, this is mine, I'm keeping it, this is my space, this is my warmth and my house and it's the my kind of energy that's coming through here. And we have become much more that way inclined as well. Again, I do think that it is a agenda, for want of a better word, the way of separating us, keeping us separated, not allowing us to realise how kind of magnificent we actually are, and if we all work together that we can accomplish a lot for ourselves. We can take care of ourselves, we can take care of our own needs. We don't need these bigger corporations or governmental systems to kind of do this for us, because all they do is take and become very greedy. And we also have this Chariot energy here, and this is saying in reverse that nothing is moving forward at this time. We are very aware that everything is kind of stuck. Nothing, we don't feel as though we're in the driver's seat. We don't feel as though we've got control of our lives here. We don't feel as though we're being able to move forward or even take responsibility for our lives here. It's like everything is going almost backwards, or yeah, like a sense of things going backwards, like everything that you've kind of worked for and achieved is now kind of being driven in the opposite direction. Yeah, that's how it's feeling to me. It's like going backwards, like everything, seeing everything that you've kind of accomplished being reversed. So it feels more like this is in reverse rather than literally kind of standing still. It's feeling to me as though it's moving backwards through its own history here, or through our history. And everything that we have done up to 2020, if you like, is now completely being destroyed or kind of taken out of the picture, almost like being rubbed out. Sense of, yeah, something being rubbed out, scrubbed clean, kind of no longer relevant in our lives. Almost like a waste of energy is how it's coming through, as though we'd put a lot of time and energy and effort into it, which could also be this card here, and now we're feeling that it was just a waste of time and energy, what we have been doing in our lives, and it's not been supported, it's not being looked after or taken care of, and that a lot of people are losing the very little that they already have. And that the Chariot, like I was saying, it's literally going in reverse here. Yeah, because literally she's got this way and that way on these poles here. This way and that way. But when it's in reverse, it kind of feels as though that's literally, it's like she's taken the journey going all the way back. And I'm seeing it's literally like just everything just disappearing. Boof, 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 gone, 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 gone. That kind of energy. So, let's see, what are we dealing with for our recent past energy here? What we're coming out of. The High Priestess in reverse. And the High Priestess is all about trusting our intuition, all about our own knowing, all about our subconscious, deeper, emotional, intuitive, instinctual, very much this kind of energy here. This full energy when he's upright and about to take this leap of faith. But because it's in reverse here, I also feel as though there's an energy of all of this, all of this world here, all of this inner knowing, all of this kind of, again, it's that sense of the intangible, something that isn't real, it isn't physical, you can't put your finger on it, you can't, and because of that, because of those very reasons, it's not been valued, it's not been given its place in our society. It's been very much ignored, devalued, undervalued. It's been used as a way to scare people away from this kind of understanding of their own inner world, their connection to spirit, their connection to the divine, their connection to God, their connection to the universe, their connection to all that is, whichever way you like to call it. It's kind of that sense that it's all been made out to be wrong, bad, even evil on some level. And yet at the same time, those that have actually done that are the ones that have actually created their own worlds within that, shall we say? That they have very subtly and very cleverly learned how to use this against us, like programming is how it's coming through for me today. Like this sense of yeah, like don't do that because it's bad, and yet they themselves will be doing it behind the scenes, unknown to the rest of the world. Don't go, you know, astrology is evil, all that kind of thing, you know, that unknown realm, that unknown world. And it's very easy to scare people from staying away from this kind of energy when you use things like horror movies, for instance, where there's always this kind of energy that is used to scare and depict this kind of evil, dark realm, which they themselves then actually create and use. And when I say them, I'm talking again about the structural hierarchy those that have taken control over our lives by not allowing us to understand this side of ourselves. And this is a really important side of ourselves, that intuitive knowing, trusting, because the rest is just the physical. It is just literally the physical realm. But there is something, it's like something else beneath the surface of us that we are missing, that we are not connecting with, that again has been undervalued, has been made out to be a dangerous energy, a dangerous route or path to go down. Don't trust your feelings, don't trust your intuition. Only the logical world makes sense. So this is kind of the energy that we are struggling with at this time. And it is very similar to this energy here as well, the intuitive hangman energy that we're going to have to dive into and discover for ourselves. For me, it is just, as I was saying, about the connection to everything. Everything. No separation, no difference. It's that understanding, that ancient understanding, wisdom and knowledge that allows people to be able to do things like I'm doing at this time with the cards. So we have on the subconscious level the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands, all pages are an energy of wanting to understand more, because they're a young energy. They're an energy that is still finding out about themselves. It can be an energy of like a childlike innocence as well with the pages, because there's a naivety about them. They're still learning, they're still growing, they're still understanding, they're still experiencing. And that's really what the Page of Wands wants to do here. He wants to experience life, which is why he's got his broomstick and his bag thrown over his shoulder, very similar to the Fool energy here as well, because that's another thing with the Fool energy, is that we have to let go of everything in order to dive into something new. It's kind of like you can't take the past with you into the future. You have to travel light with the Fool. He has to lose his baggage. He has to let it go. He has to leave it in the past and move forward with the bare essentials, just with what he needs and nothing more. And that's the same energy that we're seeing here. Is this Page of Wands is just taking the bare essentials of whatever it is that he needs, and he's beginning to look at things in a different way. He's beginning to open himself up to new experiences and new journeys. He's beginning to realise that things were not as he thought they were, and that he needs to move on. He needs to move forward in order to learn more. And you only learn and grow through experiences. So that's what this Page of Wands is off to do. And this is what's in our subconscious, and this is kind of where we're beginning to realise that we ourselves are still this kind of naive energy, we may see ourselves as being really kind of intelligent and really kind of, you know, superior beings on the planet, if you like. But we still have a lot to learn. There's still a hell of a lot to learn. And with the Page of Wands as well, things are always changing. Things are always, he's always wanting that change, looking for that new idea, that new creative vision. That new path forward that's going to lead him into something that's going to teach him something else, something that he as of yet hasn't learned, doesn't know enough about. Which of course could be representing our own journey in life, ancestrally as well. As I was saying, we kind of believe that we're all-knowing, all-seeing, that we've learned as much as we can learn in a way. It's like science has kind of got to a place where it's refusing to look beyond where we've come. And in many ways things have become very dogmatic, like education, the educational system's become very dogmatic. It kind of just teaches the same repetitive thing over and over again. It doesn't expand, it doesn't create, it doesn't teach how to learn, how to ask questions or experience life. It's just about repeating what has been repeated over and over again for centuries now. So we have the Two of Cups and we also have the Eight of Swords. So interesting energies here, Two of Cups and Eight of Swords. Let me put them around that way because I prefer showing them the way that they come out. And these energies are over the top of the Two of Wands and the Empress. So this is the future energy that is coming in here, and there's a sense of things kind of becoming lighter and easier and more sociable. I'm seeing this more as a sociable energy rather than as a, like there's an initial meeting here, but it feels more like a meeting of minds rather than anything else here. But it also feels like a kind of a sense of freedom, a sense of being able to go out and socialize and be more open and friendly, inquisitive, wanting to get to know people, all those things that we haven't been allowed to do, all those things that have been kind of kept back from us. But we also have the Eight of Swords here as well, so it does feel as though there is this sense of once again being trapped or limiting ourselves here, of not being able to see beyond something, because with the Eight of Swords, although she looks like she's trapped, She actually isn't trapped at all, and she can just walk through that gap there. But she's blindfolded, so she can't see, and it's symbolic of our mind. As I was saying, it's symbolic of that. I was just talking about it in many ways, of that sense of trapping ourselves in that same energy, that same stories that we tell ourselves over and over and over again. And maybe that's also got something to do with this here, this sense of repeating the same scenarios, repeating the same situations in our life, and still feeling trapped, still feeling as though we're not moving beyond. Again, this could also represent the energy of having to isolate, of being forced into this situation, this kind of sense of a prison type cell here as well. These swords representing bars around us, this sense of mental prison rather than an actual physical prison, this mental prison of like keeping ourselves in prison, keeping ourselves entrapped, keeping ourselves from not being able to go out and do this and enjoy and socialise and have fun and meet new people and have a relationship, and because we ourselves are being told, no, you can't do that, no, that's going to hurt other people, you're going, you know, you are helping to what's the word I'm looking for here, you are helping to helping to kind of magnify this or keep it going, or spread even, yes, thank you, spread the problem that you are guilty, you therefore have to be punished for being guilty, for wanting this, you need to be punished. And it's coming out with these two energies here as well. As I was saying, this kind of sense of having to start recreating here with the Two of Wands and the Empress energy here, of being full of potential, full of life and potential, and something new and something possibly transformational taking place here, and yet we're still kind of keeping ourselves entrapped in that same space. And it may not be everybody, actually, there may be this divide, which is kind of how it's coming across to me here. But there may be this divide, there may be this sense of those that are going to do this and those that are going to do this to themselves. So there may be those who are going to see through it, see through and understand what has really happened and what is really taking place at this time in 2020, and everything that we've been through and experienced over these last 10, 11, coming up for 12 months in December. And those who are going to be caught up, trapped by it, a sense of, yeah, just this sense of allowing this to happen to them. buying into this deceit here, believing in it, trusting in it. And maybe that's also what this Two of Wands is about here, and this Fool energy as well. Is there some, as we take this leap, some are going to leap one way and some are going to leap another way. And the divide is going to get wider and wider is how it feels. But we all have the potential. That energy is there for all of us. This major arcana Empress energy, this potential to create something new and something beautiful is here for all of us. And so some will create something beautiful for themselves, and others will create something that's not so beautiful, that's more harming to themselves, mentally, emotionally, physically. Because you can see the difference in the energies here. You look at this card, this has got the sunshine behind it, they're laughing, they're having a lovely time, there's a beautiful sunset. Whereas this card is grey, it's dismal, it's harsh, there's no light, there's no life as such. So that's how it's coming across to me. And that's what I think what this Two of Wands is about as well, is this choice. The choice between the two paths here. And maybe that's also what this energy is saying here as well. The path that we take is going to be the path that is going to create our own future. Whatever it is that we believe about the future. Whatever it is we believe, we are going to be creating for ourselves. So we can choose to keep ourselves trapped, or we can choose to take a new path, a new energy. I'm just going to put one more card over the top of that, I think. Do I put one more card over the top of that or not? Yes? No? Or should I just move on to the Ten of Swords? Okay, I'm just going to move on to the 10. Thank you. Right, okay. Moving on to the Ten of Swords and our hopes and our fears. We have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Page of Cups. Again, two energies. Over the top of the Ten of Swords, which isn't a nice energy. It doesn't come through as a nice energy at all. It's coming through as an energy of feeling like a battlefield, actually. That's how it's feeling. It's feeling like we've been through this mental battle, this like really difficult, bloody battle, like heart of the heart as well as the mind as well. Something has been kind of ripped. That's how it's coming across. It's coming across as something that's being ripped away from us, or something that's being ripped out of us. Which could of course be the Pluto energy as well. But we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and this is about our self-esteem, our self-worth. It's in reverse, so we're not feeling it at this time. We're not feeling as though we're very worthy. We're not feeling as though we are deserving. We're not feeling in our power. We're not feeling in our sense of magnificence here. And it is also known as the mini Empress energy as well, the Nine of Pentacles. Because there isn't, with this card, when she's upright, she is also very aware of her own sense of power. and strength and magnetism. And she also wants to say, she wants to nurture, she wants to give. But something here is stopping that from being able to happen here, and that's being reflected here in this Nine of Pentacles as well. But the other card that came out with this is the Page of Cups. And again, a page energy is young energy. It's an energy of starting to love ourselves. And with this card here, this pain that I'm feeling with this card, there's kind of something being ripped out of our lives. And the Nine of Pentacles is kind of how we're experiencing it, as a lack of self-worth and a lack of self-esteem, as I was saying, and not deserving. The Page of Cups is kind of saying to me, it's time to literally, like, it's time to kind of repaint that picture, that how's it coming through? To reimagine, to repaint, to, like where I was saying with this energy where it's all kind of being taken away as it's going in reverse, and it's like everything's being removed. This energy is about literally like standing at an easel, like, and painting our life, repainting it, visualizing it, reimagining it. Pages are that young energy of growing and learning about itself. But the thing about the cups is that it's about our emotions as well. So the cups is kind of representing the need to heal something here, to heal, and also to, I just keep getting recreate, repicture on an emotional feeling level. It's about the feelings, it's about the emotion behind it. It's about creating something from an emotional level of a new picture. A new painting. It's like something that's kind of, if you imagine it as being something that's kind of magical in a sense, and it can come to life. The emotions that are behind it are what is creating it, what is bringing it to life, what is bringing it into form. And the enjoyment of that as well, because he looks like he's enjoying himself there. He's completely kind of covered in splotches of different colour, and there's all these paints lying around on the floor where he's just kind of used them and just completely caught up in that moment, completely just kind of like focused on this here and just wanting to create something new and something beautiful. And in that process there is also a healing that is taking place here as well. Is how it's coming across for me. Because it is a page, as I was saying, it's early stages, it's early learning, it's learning about the self again in order to grow and to move beyond. But it's, yeah, it just keeps coming through as this kind of magical painting, this magical kind of bringing something to life emotionally, of putting our emotions into something. But it is a hope and a fear. So as of yet, it's not something that has actually manifested itself. But collectively, it's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for this new, beautiful, this new, beautiful world. Is how I see it. This new, beautiful painting. The painting kind of representing our hopes and our dreams, our wishes and our desires. Each of us being our own artist as well, and emotionally connecting with our dreams, hopes, desires. Okay, so interesting. Over the top of the Hangman, the very last card that we have here is the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords is a painful experience. And maybe that's what we're needing to surrender to, is the fact that this is a painful experience, that we have experienced something. And again, going back to the idea of birth, birth is a painful experience. Birth is meant to be a painful experience. But in many ways it's kind of been what's the word? Clinicalized. It's become clinical. It's become something that's kind of, you don't experience it, you don't feel it. I feel that that's kind of the Three of Swords energy here. Is about not wanting to experience or feel pain, or, and it's like, how far will we go to remove ourselves from having to do that? How far will we take ourselves in order to no longer have those experiences or any experiences? To give away our I'm again here. To give away our yeah, it's just these experiences. But even the painful experiences are important and valuable. We may not like them, we may not understand them at the time, we may not want to experience them, but when we look back, we can, by surrendering our need to control them, or to control ourselves in that sense. I need to, yeah, it feels like control. To stop ourselves from having those experiences. If we do that, then we are cutting ourselves off from something valuable, it feels. The lessons that are learnt. What do we learn? How do we learn it? And I'm just going to put another card over the top of this one, because it feels as though there's one needed. Just checking the time there. It is getting on. Okay, we have 1 and 2. Nice. So we have the star energy that has come out again. We had the star energy over here, but it came out in reverse previously. Now we have it upright. And it is, for me, this is the kind of energy, the awareness, the as above, so below, the connection between, that we are the kind of, what is the word I'm looking for here? We are the it's right on the tip of my tongue, right at the front of my brain. Yeah, it does not want to come out of my mouth. We are the, come on, conduit. Thank you. We are the conduit for this energy. We ourselves bring this energy down and manifest it in the physical. And that's what this star card is saying to me here today. This is again about hope, our dreams, our wishes, our desires, our wishing on a star, literally, to try and improve and understand and see things on a bigger, more kind of divine level, to understand that we are a part of it all. Again, no separation, everything is connected. And it's come out as well with the Knight of Pentacles here, which, sorry, the Page of Pentacles. No, it is the Knight of Pentacles. Sorry, it is the Knight of Pentacles, which is a very slow moving energy, but it's an energy of purpose. It's an energy, he's holding his pentacle out there in front of him. He knows, he has a plan, he has thought this through, which is not something that has been rushed or hurried or nothing has been missed. All the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed when it comes to the Knight of Pentacles, and he will get to where he wants to go. He will make sure that this pentacle, which is very much about the physical realm, is going to create for him, with the value that it holds for him, something that is going to grow, something that is going to have purpose. The Knight can also be seen as the messenger as well. A lot of people call them the messenger energy, of bringing in messages for us. But I see this more as a very stable, very grounded, very security orientated, very disciplined in a way. He's probably the most disciplined out of all of the knights of the tarot reading, the tarot cards, the pentacles. He knows what he wants, and he knows how to go and get it. And that's what I think this card is saying here as well, that we know we are this conduit. We are becoming aware more and more. We are awakening to this connection with everything, with this divine. And when we do realize this, when we do awaken to this, this is the energy that will be brought into play, this kind of long-lasting future, because he is looking towards the future. He's holding this pentacle out in front of him in his future. He's kind of using it almost like a compass, like to guide him. Where is it going to take him? So, that's interesting. I didn't see those energies there. Those cards, I'm not going to read them. Right, but I will very quickly read a Keepers of Light energy card here for this blue full moon in Taurus Halloween reading. Blue moon, full moon in Taurus Halloween reading. Oh, now that's interesting because this card was actually on the bottom of the deck when I cut it earlier. So it definitely wants to come out. And this is Kali Ma facing fear. And for me, it's very much this energy here, as I was talking about earlier. This no longer us kind of trying to remove ourselves from the idea of having to face fear, not wanting to face fear, not wanting to feel pain. Even though it's a very valuable part of our lives, we don't like it, we don't want to experience it. But Kali Ma here is saying major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. So through the fear and through the pain, we are learning to grow. And this is very, for me, Pluto energy. Kali, the destroyer. It's Kali Ma. Again, if you look at all the skulls that are around her neck, is very much related to that Pluto energy. So it says, but if you look all around her as well, she's got all this growth, all these red blooming flowers. It says Kali Ma is the Hindu goddess of death and rebirth. She brings old cycles to an end so we can experience transformation. She is a strong, fierce, fiery and powerful image of the divine feminine. Many have been intimidated by her, but she is a mother energy. Sorry, it's slipping down there. And she's very similar, I think, to this energy as well. Because the Empress, of course, does have two sides to her as well. If you think of nature, it can be really gentle and soothing and beautiful sunny day when everything's sky's blue and it's really warm and like inviting. And then you get days where there are storms that kind of destroy people's homes and their families and everything that they have. And so there is two sides to this energy, this nature energy, this mother energy, if you like. There are two sides to that as well. If you think of earthquakes as well, two sides of the same energy. So she is a mother energy, and of course the mother energy can be very protective as well, and therefore completely loving. She's like a fierce mother protecting her child from harm. She has a dark energy like the night sky, but it consumes fear and leaves only love. She is the twin flame of the god Shiva and has even been known to slay his ego so that he can reveal his true loving self. This is a time when you are able to look fear in the eye and move away from it. Fear is just energy, and energy can be changed. This can be an intense experience because the human self is so conditioned that it may be used to operating with fear present. When the fear is gone, it may feel as though an emptiness is there, but this is space for love and miracles to enter. You are being filled with the courage of spirit now, so that you... Sorry, I lost that then. so that you can move from this phase of your life to the next. Trust the process and call on Kali Ma to help you release your fear and step into a space that's strong, focused and courageous, which is kind of where we started the reading off here with the Strength card as well, stepping into that space of strength, inner strength, courage to cross that bridge being where we stand now, and what's on the other side we don't know. We don't know what's over there because we haven't been there yet. So that is where I'm going to leave this reading and say thank you very much to those of you who have listened right the way through to the end of the reading. If you have liked it, please could you thumbs it up for me, because it really helps to get it out onto the YouTube channels, larger algorithms, which helps it to be put onto other channels as well and be recommended for other channels, so that people can see my videos and come back and hopefully read my or listen to my messages. Also, thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed to my channel, and to those of you who have subscribed to my channel recently, thank you very much. And also to those of you who have liked my channel, thank you very much. I really do appreciate the thumbs. It really does help. Also, before I forget, could you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already? There is a subscribe button on there for you to touch. Mercury is still retrograde, so it's probably got a lot to do with my tongue and my mouth not connecting very well at this time. Yeah, subscription button, please could you tap that? It will open up to a notification thing, I believe, where there's a little bell, and you can, if you want to, get the videos as and when I put them out there. I do all the full moon, new moon videos and all the zodiac signs as well. So if you're interested in finding out more, everything is on my playlist as well. I do both full moon and new moon astrology and the tarot reading for them too. So they will all be on playlists, except for last new moon, because I had a crisis, shall we say, and I couldn't get around to doing the reading, so I just did the astrology. So you will find that on there if you're interested at all. Also, I will be putting the astrology out for this reading as well, and for anybody who's interested, please could you also watch that as well. I don't think there's anything else. Just thank you very much for watching. Please take really good care of yourselves at this time. I hope you have a wonderful blue full rare moon Halloween, and enjoy yourselves. Hopefully see you again soon. Take care.